It's only a dream that you cherish. It's your life, your rights, co-parent. Cause you raise a child with no parents. You argue and fight and start yelling. Society's trash and turn felon. Only logic, elevation over profit. Once you're elevated and then you go for the profit. You know that the feds and trolls watching. Hope you prepared, get more options. Tired of arguing with homies over this dumb shit. Don't on the block, but still we run shit. Car runners better go get your gun, bitch. Mother raised babies, we raised thugs, being emotionless. Broad day, he had to open it. Laugh around, he tell stories of how he killed the bitch. From the hood, niggas, we knew since Tyler. For the belly of the beast that produces monsters. 8th grade, Mr. Graham. Taught us domestic system and taught us about weighing grams. Straight up crooked, but in my future. Knew I'd be a rapper, but never thought a producer. Real rap, conceived by 2 parents. Old souls, no soul, no merit. Some of the things that you cherish. It's only a dream that you cherish. It's your life, your rights, co-parent. Yeah. Cause you raise a child with no parents. You argue and fight and start yelling. Society's trash and turn felon. Same logic, certain things to see a profit. Street profits need profit and change the problem. Just know the streets and hoes watching. Homies counting your pockets and turn problems. And when you from the bottom, they doubt it and turn violent. You can't be second power, be routed to get power. Best when you so sour, they turn sour. Money came between you was given to earn dollars. See, the realer they are, the more silent. Integrity buried to earn dollars. Respect how you grinding to earn power. But absolute power corrupts cowards. Fuck fighting, kids scared of Mike Tyson. You shooting, cops shooting, I'm tired. At war with the world, you non-biased. Hijack the plane of my dreams, no co-pilots. Real rap, conceived by 2 parents.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Figured I'd tap in with y'all this morning. 2 things I was gonna chop it up with y'all about this morning was Kwame Brown versus Hassan Camble. I'll give you my thoughts of what I thought about it. Cause it seemed like it was gonna start off right, but then it really turned into some weird shit to me. And then lastly, I'm gonna talk about what's going on with the rise of the Moors case and tell you something I learned last night digging. Now, one, I think with the Hassan Camble situation and Kwame Brown, because a lot of people been telling me to check out Kwame Brown the last month or so. And I noticed that they got on each other's feed. And so he was asking them questions like, so Kwame asking like, what's the problem? So Hassan, he apologized at the beginning. And one thing I noticed at the beginning, see, when Hassan apologized, I kind of knew like, see, when you start apologizing to most black men, shit go left. You know what I'm saying? The worst people on planet Earth you damn near can apologize to is black men that ain't got their shit together, right? Because you got 2 situations. You got Hassan Camble, who came from the street called a murder and did like 15, 20 years, so his logic, right? And then you got Kwame Brown, who was the #1 pick in the NBA draft, who never turned out to be shit. It wasn't about fuck what everybody else say, you know what I'm saying? He just was a bust. He was the #1 pick in the draft, and the nigga never turned out, ever, even after Jordan left. So when you say Jordan, bullshit. He just never turned out. So we got 2 different black men from 2 different environments. The guy that grew up, went to school, went to the NBA, didn't turn out. Then you got the guy that was in the streets, in the hood, doing what he did, right? So my problem in this whole situation is that Hassan apologized at the beginning, which showed that it shows some manhood now. I do agree with Kwame when he said that, you know, that just because a man apologizes don't mean you got to accept it or da-da-da-da. But if you don't accept it, then to let him know, like, you know what I'm saying, I feel you, I hear your apology, but I'm just let it be, and you walk off with it. What Kwame decided to do, Kwame decided to go loud, decided to start asking Hassan about, like, the way he speak, talking about how he rocking niggas snot boxes and niggas noodles and shit. It's just his expression. Hassan from New York, right? At the end of the day, that's it. Now, in my honest opinion, is that Hassan say the shit that people don't want to say. Like, he one of the only YouTubers I know who he might use graphic language, but the motherfucker be dead ass about like, oh, you disrespecting the dead? Now you got your snot box rocks. And so it's like, you can't get mad at him. The youth only gonna understand what the fuck is reality, not what's the extra shit. Boy, sit down. Not what's the extra shit, you know what I'm saying? So when I seen this debate, I thought it would probably be good because I felt like both of them were speaking on something. But I wanted to point out the fact, so you got, depending on where you come from, depending on the type of man you are, depending on your background. Now, clearly when I was listening to Kwame after the apology, I didn't think Kwame was wrong about everything. But I did think that Kwame was really, really overstepping his boundary and shit. Like, he really won't listen to Hassan and what Hassan had to say back. It won't just Hassan. Now, Hassan ended up blowing up at the end of this shit, But I could understand why, because it's kind of like, bro, I'm trying to talk to you or whatever, and not even that a man got to accept the apology, but when men can accept each other's apology and take what come with it. Now, ever since when was it cool for a nigga to go to the NBA to run his motherfucking mouth that way to a nigga that called murder, right? Because he went beyond the fact of talking. Now, Haas ain't knowing. I know Haas ain't trying to do nothing to him. I wouldn't either. But with the first conversation, what they were talking about, where Kwame, he was asking him about the jury, and I thought that wasn't a bad idea. Like, you gonna go to the hood and you gonna wear that jury. You get up here every day, you be talking all of this shit. Clearly, Kwame do not listen to fucking Hassan. That's what I knew. Like, when I was listening to Kwame talk, when they were together, and then last night when he made his post back to Hassan, after Hassan talked shit, I noticed that, yo, Kwame don't listen to Hassan, because Hassan got shit with him, you know what I'm saying? He definitely don't glorify the shit he did, because he constantly challenging. This nigga got beef with everybody, every YouTuber on the planet, because he be saying the shit that need to be said instead of sugarcoating for the youth or sugarcoating for motherfuckers who want shit to be told to him a certain way, right? So when I'm listening to it, he asking him about shit that I get it, but it's like, let's attack some real subjects. He asked Hassan, like, well, why you in the hood? Your family and your girl who you protect, that's true. Why you going back to the hood? I got bro logic. Kwame saying you got to go back to the hood to protect this and shit. The logic of it is fucked up. Because as men, when we come from the hood, we grow up, we feel like we got to go back to the hood to be somebody, right? So I don't think Kwame was wrong about it, but the angle that Kwame was trying to play it, like, he won't just talking to him about it. He was talking to him like he was a little boy, and I peeped that shit like, you know, you need to learn better. I feel like a nigga who don't come from the hood, if you come from poverty, and I'm saying, and he probably come from poverty, but he know nothing about the rest of it. So when a nigga, that's like, it's kind of like what Hassan said about the celebrities, that should be true. Listen, Kwame said he don't know what he talk about. Kwame said that there won't no such thing as Illuminati. Kwame said that there won't no such thing as that inner circle, and that was bullshit. See, so that's why when it was all over, I had to realize, like, damn, who the fuck Kwame, like, but who he with? You know what I'm saying? So for a celebrity who made that money to sit here and tell you that it ain't no hierarchies, like, ain't no secret societies, like masonry and shit like that. So that's when I knew Kwame was kind of full of shit. But he spent all his time trying to tell Hodge what it was, and that's something that has to stop. If you go to the NBA, that's one way. Let me give you an example. He was like, Hodge, you be up here online talking about niggas who got jobs, da-da-da-da, but end of the day, so you telling niggas to go to prison? You know what I'm saying? Instead of telling them to go to NBA? Well, the truth of the matter is, whether if you go to the NBA, you know what I'm saying, and you go to prison, and it's a difference. If you go to prison, that ain't the choice. If you go to the NBA, yeah, kids, I'd rather kids look up the basketball players. I was a basketball player. But the rappers and the basketball players and the movie stars, they all doing the same shit with these societies. The basketball player in front of the hood, the rapper who's in front of the hood, they all got different avenues, but they all still being used in the same manner, and they all doing shit. The ball player, on one hand, he don't seem as offensive as the rapper, but the rapper make music, that's his job. The ball player play ball. But at the end of the day, they all could be on their own shit. Stop, man. Stop before I put your ass in that cage. So the thing is, that's what I'm saying. When we dealing with Kwame, well, he made it seem like, I think that's the issue at hand that has to stop. When us as black people, he said he boule. Yeah, I feel you. Kwame, I won't disagree. Because the interview, I respect, I was always looking at Kwame lately like, okay, I respect bro got a voice. You know what I'm saying? But when I heard bro say certain shit, stop. When I heard bro say certain shit yesterday, it kind of bugged me out. You know what I'm saying? Kwame didn't address anything of significance. He was really just tearing Hodge down. Now, for Hodge to be somebody that speaks every day, you know what I'm saying? Hodge say some shit that be out the way at times. But overall, Hodge is challenging the norm of how we think and how we live and what we about. Because motherfuckers out here living wrong. Niggas out here dissing the dead, being disrespectful, spending all their money on some Balenciaga, some shoes. Niggas go up here and be flexing online and Hodge be checking it. Hodge is more of a problems checker than a problem, right? Kwame got up there yesterday and he was talking about, when he said that part about the job, that's when I seen the Uncle Tom in that nigga, and it's a lot of times. At the end of the day, people with jobs, which is the plantation of the 2000s, have no right to talk shit to people that come up on their own consent, right? Now, the NBA is a different type of job than the average job, don't get me wrong. In this situation, Kwame grew up, went to the NBA, but he did nothing. He got there, and he was the #1 pick, so he was guaranteed a certain amount of money, and he was 7 feet, right? But last night, when he got mad, Hassan went back and called him Illuminati Kwame. But he was, last night when I listened to Kwame, Kwame was like, listen here, boy, who the fuck is your boy? See, that's what I be meaning. See, niggas with money be out of pocket. Niggas who get money, NBA players, rap niggas, drug niggas, when they get mad, niggas be out of pocket. Let me tell you why. Your money don't make you shit. Hassan right. You know, Kwame talking about that black kids need to go to coding. I don't disagree. But when you got, but see, I understand to start a school costs more than $60 million. You're gonna need a couple $100 million to do a school with all of the registrations and shit like that. But when Kwame, when he was saying like, High's right, you're an NBA player. You're up here running your fucking mouth. But what the fuck has Kwame built for the community he come from? What has Kwame done? See, a motherfucker that attacked somebody who's from the ground speaking to a motherfucker that went to the NBA, you got all this money. Now, I do agree with Kwame, nigga. He said you went to prison, you did all the time. Those are bad choices. I agree. I don't disagree with everything Kwame said. Like when he said our circumstances were different, Kwame said, no, our choices was different. And I felt Kwame on that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to still be able to recognize that circumstance and situation, how kids grow up. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how kids grow, like bruh said, you know, like people say, I can tell by the mentality of the men and the women today, I can tell what type of mothers and fathers they had. It says his vibe says his vibe says bottom tier boule, sent to get other boule members back on code. Yeah, his vibe was boule, like, cause he was talking to Highs about, like talking down on him, like a nigga that do 15, 20 years for murder, who speaks about other niggas murder and trying to fix it, he's qualified to speak on this shit. And Highs at the end of the day, I do get Kwame saying about the jury, and Kwame was right though. When it come down to like, you know, you got all these chains on and you got families, why are you going back to the hood with all these chains on? Now you got to defend these chains. I agreed with that. I didn't disagree with everything Kwame, but my question was, what was Kwame's intent, right? Now I listened to Kwame other lectures and I thought like, yo, you know, it's cool. But it's just like Hidden Colors. You got Tariq Nasheed and you got Umar Johnson. When they get mad, these two scholarly niggas start talking about bitch boy and shit. Like that shit just was like, wow. I never would see King and Malcolm do that shit. That's how I was feeling. Now I know that bruh and them ain't King and Malcolm. But for a person to run their mouth about all of this stuff, who went to the NBA, who had financial success, who would be able to do certain things, regardless if he balled. If Kwame was just 5% a better basketball player, he would have made $100 million like this. If he was 50% better ball player, nigga would have made $200-300 million. So Kwame issue was his self-esteem. Kwame came in the league from the beginning and never had no confidence. You feel me? So that's why I always say, like, he said the job comment. It was confirmation. Yeah, like, my question to everybody is this. That shit's strong. That's my question. And I mean this respectfully. We got people that got jobs, right? And that's fine. Having jobs don't make you less than. Let's be clear, right? Having a job don't make you less than. But you still need to understand that the word job, when you trace it to its origin, it means slave. In the law books. When you trace the word boss or employer, it says master. So regardless of how you work, how hard you work, or what you do, get your grind. But stop, I want motherfuckers with jobs to stop acting like you get up and you do what you love. If you don't wake up in the morning and you ain't living the dream that you plan, it don't make you less than. But what you don't is to look down on the motherfuckers that's out here who really shaping their world and their dreams and manifesting their own futures. It don't make them better than you either, right? But at the same time, know the line. If you go to work every day, you're not less than, because you got to pay bills, you got kids, you can go get it. I'm not going to knock you. But don't you ever get on this motherfucking internet or go live, you job working niggas, and talk down to the niggas who don't work jobs that grind, because what you need us in, you go to work every day. You ain't taking no fucking chances. You playing everything safe respectfully. And if you get up and you go to work for what you love, excuse me, and you go to work for what you love, I understand. If you get up and you want to be a doctor and you go to work to be a doctor, talk your shit. If you wanted to do this, if this was your dream, I understand that means that this is what you want to do, but 95% of the country ain't working that way. So when I see people make comments about jobs, right? Like I'm talking about Kwame, I'm speaking of. Kwame Brown. When he was like, so you telling these niggas to go out here and do this and that, do this and that, do this, and Kwame made an also statement like, bitch, you gotta stay on YouTube, I ain't got to. Well, bitch, you went to the NBA, Kwame, and you ain't do shit. You was the worst #1 pick all time, damn near, ever. He got to the league, the nigga was soft. Let's talk about how he played basketball. He was soft, point blank, period. Right? Now, Kwame never worked a fucking job in his life. Nigga been in the NBA. So first of all, he ain't got no fucking right to even be running his fucking mouth because the NBA job and the regular job, these are two different experiences. You feel me? Now, when the people with jobs want to get mad and talk down to people that made their own businesses and carved their own ways in society, it's a problem. Because what happens is the slave lose sight of who really in control and who fucking not. Right? Whether people like what I'm saying or not. When we got two types of slaves on the plantation. We got the slave that's going to run away and the slave that's going to work the fields and never try to leave. Right? To the slave that run away, he going to look down on the slave who don't want nothing, who think that this shit is okay. Because he don't want better. To the slave that want to be there, he look down on the slave that's trying to get the fuck away that want freedom. Right? So the slaves that run away, the runaway slaves, they gonna be looking down on the motherfucking house trying to figure out what the fuck is he oppressing, why does he enjoy this shit? Because he enjoys it because he feel like he doing better than others. Especially like the house niggas. So when Hassan said the athletes are the house niggas, they are. Most of the celebrities, they're the house niggas, they are. You know what I mean? So for any celebrity get on TV and act like they don't know, and that's what I didn't like. You can go live, and I was listening to bruh talk Kwame in their debate, and in they shit after when they both had their own separate shit. And I couldn't help but say like, damn, you keep calling this nigga boy. Like you sound like a white man, you feel me? So that's what I be telling y'all. Niggas, y'all, anybody go live and get on YouTube and Facebook and start talking some positive shit, y'all quick to flock to him. Why? Because he was in the NBA, he got a couple dollars. That nigga don't know shit about that shit. Like he said, he don't know. It's a lot of shit he don't know. You know what I mean? But with the people, it's at the end of the day, remember, when we watch niggas, remember, regardless of your religion, but when they talk about Jesus as far as Christianity, that nigga didn't hang out with NBA players. That nigga hung out with niggas like Hassan, who was murderers. Peter and them niggas was murderers and thieves. You know what I'm saying? So understand the condition and the mindset different. He was like, you over here bragging about it. Hyde wasn't bragging about it. Hyde's had a couple episodes. He's still from the streets. He came from that, and he speaks every day. That's why I wrote on Kwame shit. Like, you clearly don't watch Hyde's shit. You clearly don't. Somebody told you about Hyde's, and because you feel like you bigger, Hyde said, bro, we got two different audiences. It's true. Real motherfuckers who want to laugh and giggle sometime, but want to hear topics and hear some truth, we listen to Hyde's. You feel me? Kwame came out of the last couple months talking and shit. I really ever listen to Kwame, not because he bad at the end of the day. My nigga, you fucked up your own situation. But when Kwame, the point is that when Kwame was talking to Hassan, he was trying to chastise him like he was a little boy. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's no problem with us having conversations as men about lifestyle. Because like I said, I do not disagree with everything Kwame said. I thought Kwame was making some valid points as a mature man, is what we supposed to, right? But when a man, like we get on live and a man come to you and apologize and you let him know clearly that you don't give a fuck about his apology, you can't expect that man to, to be cordial. Now, just because somebody apologized to you, I don't disagree with Kwame, meaning that I got to, but if you're not going to agree with, if a man come to you to have a conversation and he apologize at the beginning, like, you know what, you right, I heard some shit and I jumped out the window because it ain't compared me. But Haas is right, it's like, don't compare me to an NBA player. I was in poverty, I've been in prison, I made it out of the trash. He might have came from the trash, but he climbed up, but he didn't make it out the trash. He just made it out of the area where the trash was. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it true Haas put himself in those positions more than likely? Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? That's circumstance in life and his choices. I don't disagree with that. But I thought that was crazy. And it kind of let me know, like, when we be watching these black men, they all disappointments at the end of the day. Because it's like we forgot what was what. Like, if a nigga who ain't got a job tell niggas da-da-da, y'all niggas is slaving and y'all need to go get free and da-da-da. If other motherfuckers get on YouTube and talk shit about that man, we ass backwards. If motherfuckers talk about fake hair, fake nails, and everybody attack these people, right? Because everything niggas is saying, everything I say live, within 2-3 days, I see other niggas on Facebook with videos saying the same shit I'm saying, and then them shit's going viral. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about logic. The problem is that people logic fucked up. So instead of women saying, or men saying like, yeah, I feel what you're saying, bro. You right. But you know, or women saying, yeah, you right, but I just want to wear this shit because I know da-da-da-da-da-da, and my shit ain't da-da-da. But we ain't there. We just say, oh, don't talk about it as if y'all forgot that shit was fake, as if y'all forgot that this shit wasn't real. So it's the same concept, you know what I'm saying? That's what we living in the world today and the time that we on. But I thought it was lame. I thought it was some real lame shit. Hold on, y'all. I thought that shit was lame. I thought that shit was lame as hell. Like that whole concept of the whole thing, I thought that shit was whack. So I chopped it in with that. Another thing, because I'm not going to be up here long this morning. Another thing is the standoff. My second topic was the standoff with the Moors, or the rise of the Moors and the police in Massachusetts. I was digging, right? And guess what I found? Like a year or two ago, two members of the same group, the rise of the Moors, got pulled over in Massachusetts, or got charged for something in Massachusetts. And this guy, I think it was two of them, but this guy, what they did was they got locked up, but they also filed writs, and then they sued. They both placed lawsuits, or the rise of the Moors placed lawsuits on that same county that arrested them. And both of them guys that got arrested and they got arrested and pulled over like a year and a half ago, when they filed them writs and sued the court, they end up, the courthouse dropped the charges and let them guys go. So in reality, this is kind of retaliation, because just a year ago, these same group, two of their members got locked up and wrote writs, and then that group wrote the state and pressed charges and sued them for illegally arresting them and detaining them. And so the judge let them out and dropped charges. So just so y'all know, when you deal with this case, the update is, it ain't too many updates. Because I seen on CNN yesterday where they was talking about this case, but they was like, well, why the people on CNN was like, well, why ain't they playing no more on TV? They not going to play this case on TV because black people too fucking smart to sit back and look at people and not pick up something. There's a lot of people that heard of the Moors but need that last piece and final straw. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say law, the reason why we got Supreme Court cases is because the states have never respected the laws. Certain states, like Massachusetts and Commonwealth. So if it ain't for people challenging these states and getting locked up and then taking it to the Supreme Court, that's how we got these right to travels and all of these cases. You know what I'm saying? And every generation need people to challenge the norm who not afraid to go stand up, and that's what's going on. So you know, the rise of the Moors, two members, like a year ago, got arrested, filed writs, then the rise of the Moors sued that courthouse, and then both of them boys got out for free. Now you check that, right? So at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, and I say it all the time, regardless of what you believe, your religion and your group or your ideology, if it can't get you out of jail and it ain't teaching you law, it ain't shit. Period. I ain't apologizing. Now, do your research on it and try to always look up Moors Standoff or the rise of the Moors court case. That's what you get in Google. And try to stay on it. And look for as much as you can, because you're going to have to dig to find this shit. But they will let us know what happens and how it turn out if you pay attention, because it'll keep popping in and out through time. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think, one thing I would say is this. As a community, that shit's strong. As a community, we have to you got to rise over the half-ass shit. Niggas who doing a little better than the poor niggas, they feel like their word means something because they got a little paper. Your word don't mean shit. Let me be the first nigga to tell you, your word don't mean shit to a nigga. To real niggas, your money don't make it, nigga. The real money is the brain, and your brain is the real paper. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I said in the old song, imagine what they told Tesla. When your mind worth more than the investors, meaning that's niggas around here with billions and millions, and in the streets, 70,000, 100,000, 300,000, $1 million street niggas. But your money will never equate to a nigga's brain power. To have certain brain power and abilities with your mind, the bag always gonna find a way to you in multiple forms as long as you can use your brain. It's a revenue stream that can't be tapped into. That money run out. BA.